I am Rachel Ray Lessem. I was born Frances Rachel Lessem.
What is your Jewish name?
Vega Ruchel.
So when do you feel Jewish?
I feel Jewish when others aren't Jewish, because when they aren't Jewish, I need to, as a teacher, been an educator for all my life, I need to teach. So if I'm in a bunch of non-Jews and things come up, I will certainly say my take as a Jew. I don't need a synagogue to feel Jewish, but I like being around Jewish women and men, usually. I mean, I come from a strong Jewish background. My side of the family all lives in Israel, so you know, I'm a Zionist and a very strong feeling towards Israel.
So you grew up being proud?
Proud, I don't know, because my parents were Orthodox Jews, so we did Orthodox things, and Shabbat we couldn't go anywhere. So I didn't always feel proud to be a Jew, because my parents didn't give me good answers to be a Jew. You know, I would ask, Lama, why? And they would say, Kacha, you know, because. And I go, that doesn't work for me, because it's not an answer. So I was always in search of the answers for why we do what we do. Yeah.
Have you found?
Many, yes, because I do it my way. I mean, that's why I study with Chabad. I study, period. I just study a lot. And going to Israel was really a pivotal point in my Jewish feelings. And
when was this?
1968. My parents, I was dating non-Jewish men. And of course, my mother was very upset. And so she really thought that going to Israel for the summer was going to really change me. But instead, it changed me, but not the way she wanted to. I did not want to come back. And so my friends came back, and they were very angry that I didn't go back with them. But I decided to continue at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, and so I studied sociology and chinuch. It was very difficult for me. I first went to an Ulpan in Natzeret Illit and learned a lot of Hebrew. I became a freer Jew. I became a non-religious Jew. That's my ex-husband, I met Yitzchak at the university, and he was Sfardi. He was Mizrahi, and unfortunately Ashkenazi Jews from that generation had a hard time in those days. This was in 1969 of mixing. Yeah, that was really terrible. When my mother had never been to Israel, she got in an airplane to kind of break us up. And that was why I dafka did it, because I couldn't understand, you know. Sephardim Jews know what Ashkenazi call you, right? It's not a nice thing. They call you Schwarze Chayes. And I was called a vuzvuz. And we know in Israel even, Sephardi Jews, Mizrahi Jews were not treated as well by the Ashkenazis who founded Israel. I didn't think that was an issue, because in America, we didn't know any Sephardi Jews. Wow. We only knew Ashkenazi Jews. So she assumed that everybody in Israel was going to be Ashkenazi, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Did you have many issues because your parents were Holocaust survivors?
Oh, sure, I'm sure. Yeah, my parents had PTSD from the war, and they have done studies that the first generation after the Holocaust, we all have issues as well. Sure. They did a lot of studies when I was still living in San Francisco on us. And I remember one boy that was a son of one of our friends, he said, you know, all Ashkenazi Jews that came from the Holocaust are ghosts. I've never forgotten that. That's so many years ago, you know, and because they came with so many issues, our parents. We didn't know that. The other day I was thinking about I'm going to digress a little. My son is in therapy because of all the things that have happened to me and in our life. And he asked me what was my relationship with my mother in my 40s. It probably wasn't that good. When you're in your 40s, you want your own life. My mother was living in Israel, I was living here. We didn't talk that much. She had different thoughts about stuff. I didn't tell her everything. And then I had this aha moment, because that's what's happening with my son. He's 40-some years old, and we don't have that much in common. and how we look at life is different. So I think it might help us. We're trying to get healthier with our relationship. And then I remember that my sister lived next to my parents in Netanya, so she really got to know my parents. And sometimes she'll say, "Mom always said." I go, "Mom always said?" I never heard her say that. She goes, "You weren't here." And my parents moved to Israel in 1971 with the whole rest of the family.
Why?
That's a good question. After the war, they were in Germany and they couldn't go to any country without somebody helping them get there. So my mother wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael, and after 25 years, they had an anniversary, and she said, "That's it. We're going to Israel. We're moving to Israel." So in 1971, they decided. My father said, "Yes, I agree. I said I would, so we're moving to Israel."
So how do you feel like it is to be Jewish in your day-to-day in the US, where you are?
Things have changed. I used to be very brave. I would put out menorahs and big things on for the holidays outside, and I never was nervous about it. I still have the Chabad sign outside, you saw. But in general, there's too much anti-Semitism, and I can't be naive and think that it's not going to affect me, because I don't know my neighbors. Some of them might be anti-Semites, and so I don't talk that much about it. So things have really changed. I have to be more protective, but I won't shut my mouth on it. I mean, of course, I will talk about it. And people don't usually know a lot of Jews. This is living in Solano County. Rabbi has brought a lot of recognition that Jews exist here, but I have to be more careful. Some people don't want us here.